Alongside Brent Hubbs, I'm Austin Price for the Volquest Stock Report. Stock up for you this week, Brent.
I'm going to go on the offensive side of the ball, believe it or not, with all the gnashing of the teeth of the second half in Athens, Georgia. But I'm going to go with Josh Palmer. The wide receiver certainly is stepping in and filling some big shoes when we see what Marquez Callaway is doing for the Saints. And obviously we know what Jawan Jennings meant to that receiving core a year ago. I think Palmer's played fantastic through 3 football games, and he was really good at Georgia. Probably should have found a way to target him more in the second half, Austin. But 2 big touchdown catches, got Tennessee the lead going into the locker room. And I just think he's played really well all year long, catching the ball in traffic and showing the ability to get vertical down the field.
Stock up for me, a guy that I won't say I'm shocked that he's punting it well, but he is much improved from a year ago where he didn't, he was very pedestrian as a punter, and that's Paxton Brooks. He's always been able to be pretty good on kickoffs, and he's been really outstanding all year in that realm. But I think punting, he's done a nice job. 2 times out of the Tennessee's 3 games, he's been on the road. I won't say a hostile environment because it's not quite the same as a normal road game, but at the same time, it's a road game nonetheless. And he's, punting the ball really, really well with pressure and then flipping the field in some regards. So I'll go stock up Paxton Brooks. Stock down, I'm going to go Tennessee's offensive line and their offensive line development. They did not perform well a week ago. They show flashes. Wanye had a nice game against Missouri, comes back and does not play very well against Georgia. Cade did not play well against Georgia. Trey did not play well against Georgia. Darnell, I'm still not seeing much development out of him. At some point, you've got to, get the most out of guys, even if, they are not the most motivated group. You have to, it's your job to, get them motivated and get them improved. So I'll go stock down the O-line development.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt that nobody can say they don't have talent there. Whether you look at the stars or whether you look at who they beat out, who Tennessee beat out for those guys, certainly talented group. My stock down is going to be the star position, Austin, and I'm not going to pick on Danico Slaughter. He was a freshman being put in a tough situation at South Carolina. But Tennessee's given up a lot of yards in the middle of the field. Not all of it is on the star position. Some of it's on linebackers. Some of it's on safeties. But I think the slot receivers lining up against Tennessee's nickelback feel like they can get the slant anytime they want to because they've been able to. And Tennessee's had a hard time in coverage at that position, whether it's been Slaughter, whether it's been Theo Jackson playing out of position, or Sean Schamberger coming back in this past week. Schamberger played with a lot of rust. I didn't think he mentally was very sharp, gave up some stuff, and clearly you could sense some frustration from Jeremy Pruitt about that position because they felt like they had the right calls on at times and they didn't play the coverage very well. So I think that position is so important for the defense, Austin. They've got to get that ramped up and get that position tightened up and battened down pretty quick here.
Stock stagnant for me. I will go Tennessee's young wide receivers. They got the scrimmage on Sunday after Tennessee lost at Georgia. Jalen Hyatt's played a little bit, but not a ton. Everybody else has played a little bit of special teams, and that's about it. For a group that's struggling to get off press man, for a group that don't have a ton of speed at times, when you look out there and they've got a flexed out big tight end like Jacob Warren and then Cedric Tillman and Brandon Johnson. Those guys are nice players, but they're not fleet of foot. And Tennessee could use some extra speed. So I'll go stock stagnant for now for those freshman wide receivers. Stock stagnant for you.
I'm going to stick with Brett Samigla, and he didn't do anything wrong other than he didn't get a chance to kick. So we don't know anymore about him. The question coming in was, could he make a big kick on the road in Athens, Georgia, in a big ball game if called upon? He was not called upon because Tennessee never had that opportunity. They crossed midfield, one time, Austin, other than when they got the ball on a turnover. So I'm going to go with Brent Smigler. We still don't know if there's a mechanical issue that's an easy fix or if there's something else going on there. Probably going to get a chance to show himself against Kentucky this week because Kentucky's been pretty good in the red zone defensively. So we'll see how the place kicker fares this week when the opportunities come his way.
He's Brent Hubbs. I'm Austin Price, and this has been the Volquest.com Stock Report.